Have you ever thought about what it really means to say goodbye at deathbed? Not with fear, but with calm. That's exactly what Alfred Tennyson does in his beautiful poem, Crossing the Bar. It is simple but very powerful, where he shows death as something peaceful, even beautiful. Alfred Tennyson was an English poet widely regarded as the leading poet of the Victorian era. He was appointed as the poet laureate in 1850 and took this position for over 42 years, the longest period won as a poet laureate in English literature. Crossing the Bar is more than just a poem about death. It's a quiet yet bold reflection on the end of life. Tennyson shows death as peaceful, hopeful, and spiritual journey, not something to dread. This poem encourages us to accept death as a process of home returning, a return to our origin. Tennyson made a special request that this poem, Crossing the Bar, be placed at the end of all future editions of his collected works. The poem is often recited at funerals and memorial service due to its comforting depiction of death as a peaceful voyage. Its universal theme have made it a everlasting piece in literature and culture. This is summary time. Before we summarize and analyze the poem, let's recite the poem stanza wise. The first stanza: sunset and evening star, and one clear call for me, and may there be no mourning of the bar when I put out to sea. The speaker is going for a voyage crossing the sea bar. He begins by describing the end of the day, sunset, and the evening star. He hears a clear call to begin the journey to deep and calm sea. He expects that his departure will be peaceful, no cries and no sobbing. This stanza establishes the poem's big metaphor. Sailing across the bar is like moving from life to death, and sailor is very calm about it. The sunset and evening star set a calm, very serious mood of the poem. It is the end of the day, indicating at the end of life. The clear call is like a sign that it's time to sail, symbolizing the moment of death. The bar is a sandbar, the barrier between the harbor and the vast sea. Harbor here refers to life, and sea refers to death or the afterlife. The speaker doesn't want any mourning of the bar, no sobbing, no cries, just a peaceful departure. The rhyme A, B, and rhythm feels like gentle waves, making the poem flow more smoothly. Stanza 2. But such a tide as moving seems asleep, too full for sound and foam, when that which drew from out the boundless deep turns again home. The speaker wants his departure to be as silent as the tide, flowing out effortlessly. The tide so smooth it appears to be asleep. The tide moves so quietly as if it is asleep. It is too full to make noise or any foam. It comes from the vast ocean, and now it seems it is returning to its home without making any noise. The tide here represents the natural flow of life and death. It sees death not as an end, but as a return to the eternal home. It could be heaven or the life after. The line, that which drew from out of the boundless deep turns again home, is very deep in meaning. It suggests life comes from a mysterious source, like God or the universe, and returns there after death. And the return should be as deep as the ocean and its tide, which do not make any noise, referring not to make any cries during his final farewell. Death is taken as a return to a greater cosmic home. Here it is like a voyager, the speaker is going back to where he began, completing a cycle. So it is very natural process. We come from somewhere, we accomplish our duties, and then we have to return. Therefore, no morning, no sorrow. A plant grows, gives flowers and fruits, and then decays. Life is like that. Third stanza, twilight and evening bell, and after that, the dark. And may there be no sadness of farewell when I embark. At twilight, when the evening bell rings for the sail and the darkness follows, the speaker embarks for the sail. At the time, he wishes for no one should have a sorrowful goodbye. As the day turns into night, the speaker associates twilight and the ringing of the evening bell to the final minutes of life. He emphasizes his wish that his passing be free from all the type of griefs or sorrows. The dark is the mystery of death that lie beyond the birth, but he does not make it frightening. It's the law of nature to emerge and decay, birth and death, rise and fall. He asks for no sadness of farewell, meaning he doesn't want anyone crying when he leaves. The imagery of twilight and bell creates a peaceful vibe, and the word embark sounds very exciting, like the start of something new. The last stanza. For though from out of our journey of time and place, the flood may bear me far, I hope to see my pilot face to face when I have crossed the bar. The speaker here says, though the tide carries him far from time and place, he hopes to meet his guide face to face after he has crossed the final barrier. Analysis. The speaker claims that death will take him beyond the limits of time and space. It means beyond this life. But he expresses a hopeful belief that he will meet his pilot once he crosses the bar. The concluding part ends with a faith and assurance, showing that the speaker trusts that God will guide him after death. The boundary of the time and the place here means the limits of our world, time and space. We have the limitations of time and limitations of the space. The flood representing the sea or death will carry him far beyond into the unknown, and he is excited to meet his pilot. The pilot is a metaphor for God Him, who has been guiding him his life like a captain steering a ship. The speaker's hope to meet Pilate face to face suggests a faith in a higher power and the afterlife, where clarity and connection with the divine are possible. To conclude, in Crossing the Bar, Tennyson portrays a peaceful and accepting picture of death. It is depicted as a natural and a gentle transition, like a ship quietly setting sail into the open sea at sunset. It encourages us not to fear death as an end, but accept as a return to cosmic home, our origin. Tennyson transforms the fear of unknown into a sense of hope and serenity, making Crossing the Bar a timeless reflection of life's final voice, that is, death. Tennyson's Crossing the Bar reminds us that life isn't just about the destination, it's about the journey. And how do we take the journey? Are we happy during the journey or are we sad during the journey? If this poem moved you, share it with someone who needs it today. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe our channel. And also please do comment your favorite line from the poem in the comment section below.